YouTube, this is Pamela and this is Craft and Commentary, and I'm really seriously developing new techniques, something really new under the sun. I mean I'm sure people have thought of this before, but I'm seriously perfecting this technique. This is big. This is a piece of paper that is 18 inches wide by 12 inches high. And I have a whole collection of Thanksgiving motif. Some of it's not perfect, but it's a little bit eclectic. It's very eclectic. Here is your pilgrims, your typical pilgrim mythology going on. But what's going on here in a technical sense is we start with a piece of construction paper, okay, the cheapest paper on the planet. And I kind of like it because it's very absorbent paper. And the next thing I do is you can see hints of color underneath here. And all I do is, often I use my jelly plate, and I will put a recipe for my homemade jelly plates below. And I let that dry. Sometimes I put some texture, but sometimes not. I have some others that I'm going to show you. For example, these are my Halloween, which is now past, obviously. Okay, so I put color. I put color down with just any old craft paint. Next, let that dry. Then my latest thing is I take pearlescent paint. I will put a link to the product I use. It's very expensive paint, but I use just a tiny bit. I take like a ketchup, a ketchup bottle with no ketchup in it, and I put the pearlescent paint in there, and I put on top of the other paint. I put down a bit of the pearlescent paint, and I take a squeegee and bring it across. And that paint that I'm going to give you the link to is somewhat translucent. So obviously, the colors from the craft paint, the cheap craft paint underneath, you always want to save money, so you want to really conserve on the expensive paint. So you put the cheap paint down first for color, and then you squeeze out from your ketchup bottle some of that pearlescent paint, and then squeegee across right on the paper. Now you let that dry. Now the main event, that is, how do I get these images? Now I am proficient in Cork Express. A lot of people use InDesign. It's basically the same program, different company. It is, and I also know Photoshop, and I use EPS images so that I have nice outlines where I need them. I can outline an image, and I use my laser printer. I have an amazing laser printer. It actually is an extremely old model that I'm still able to use with a modern Macintosh computer. It is the HP LaserJet 5000, and you can get one on eBay for less than $500. But it prints the size, which is amazing. I mean, and I print with laser printing on top of acrylic paint. And with the pearlescent paint, it has people are surprised. They say, how did you do that? Is that some kind of photographic technique? You know, they think that perhaps I had to go to some copy shop, some very expensive photo processing place to do this kind of technique. And albeit, yes, I have an expensive printer. I mean, truth be told, someone was throwing away their printer, their old LaserJet, and I picked it from the hallway in. That someone was just simply throwing it away. He was moving back to Turkey, the gentleman. He was someone. And he didn't need it. And I thought, wow, I bet this still works. And indeed it did. I have put hundreds of dollars of repair and maintenance into it. That I will admit. But to me, it is to have this kind of process in your hands. I feel like a mere mortal. Is just amazing because the possibilities are endless. And right now I've just downloaded these images. Just come from free images from Google, and I'll also give a link to another website where you can get really awesome vintage black and white images from, I think, the University of Florida. But let me clarify that in the notes below. So let me just show you. This is current right now. It won't be current for long. Right now we are in mid-November 2015. And we just had Halloween, and let me just show you a couple of these that I did with the same technique. It's, I featured this already. I had a whole bunch of them up on display at the business my husband and I run. So as you can see, again, you've got the cheap paint down below. You have the translucent pearlescent metallic paint that's squeegeed on top. You let both layers dry fully. You know, you don't want to put wet paint through your laser printer. And then you have your layout, and you put this through, and lo and behold, it gives you this awesome kind of effect. So here we go. Here's another. I use crazy, like, clip art. Here's a cat. And very spooky kind of. Thank you for watching. This is Pamela from Craft and Commentary, and happy crafting, people. Thank you for watching. Okay, YouTube, I neglected to show this particular specimen of the technique I'm talking about. So I'm just going to tack this on to the back of this other video. This is one of the best, and as you can see, again, there is the color craft paint underneath, which admittedly is just very inexpensive craft paint colors that I put down to add interest, texture. I even took, I think, like a sponge or something here to add some texture. And the image with just plain craft paint on, you know, on construction paper is very, you know, it's bright colors. But then you take, again, that you squeegee along that pearlescent paint. Again, I'm going to give you the link. And then you come back and print with your laser printer on top of acrylic paint. and I'm just ecstatic about this effect. I think it looks pretty good in the video, but in person it's really astounding. Some of my Halloween pictures I might mention, I was selling at $10 a piece. It's probably not enough, but you know, considering I did not create the art, you know, this is all clip art from online. I just made the layouts, and I'm using this really cool technique. So again, over and out. This is Pamela from Craft and Commentary. Again, thank you so much for watching. See you soon.